I'm a bit under the weather. I seem to have a sinus infection or something, so I sound kind of froggy, and I had to do voiceover for this because my roommate was fixing the TV, which is right in front of the work table here. Uh, but this is just my other roommate walks with a cane, and he has this really fancy cane, but he's used it enough that it came unthreaded from the wood. You can see there's the wood cane and then the bone handle, and it's got a screw that was screwed into the wood from the bone handle, and that has come loose. All the threads that were formed in the wood have disintegrated and gotten loose, so that doesn't screw in there anymore. And I am gonna just fix this with some JB cold weld. You could use any kind of epoxy, but the quick technique there, of course, is for measuring to put stripes on whatever surface you're mixing on next to each other to make sure you get the two parts in equal measure. And then a lot of mixing to make sure that it's evenly mixed, because the key to epoxy is properly mixing it. And one of the reasons I like long set epoxies is then you've got plenty of time to mix properly. When you're using a short set like a 5-minute or other quick set epoxy, you have to mix quickly and get to work, and that I find encourages me to be lazier about mixing, and then it doesn't set up properly. So I used my chopstick to poke some JB cold weld way down into the hole, and when I pulled the chopstick out, some sawdust came from the disintegrated threads. And then when I went to screw the other part in, I coated the screw with JB weld as well, and then screwed it in, and you can see me rotating it back and forth, and I'm rotating it back and forth to make sure that any of the loose sawdust or wood in there gets worked into the JB weld, so that it's, kind of a fiber reinforcement as opposed to a sawdust insulation or barrier between the threads and the solid wood of the cane. So by working it back and forth in there, it makes sure that whatever loose wood is in there is worked through with JB weld. And then after I get it screwed entirely in, there was a little ooze out, but because the trim and this other piece is brass and they're oxidized, I was able to just neaten that up quickly and easily by using a microfiber cloth to really rub carefully to get the JB weld off. So I went around, wiped the first time to get most of it off, and then the remaining epoxy came off because I rubbed hard enough to remove the layer of oxidation from the brass along with the tiny bit of JB weld. So we'll let that set up for 24 hours, and my roommate's ornamental walking cane should be fit for real service again.